was still and quiet on the far side of the lake.
No one ever comes down here, not since they stopped repairing the bridge.
And yet it was hard to shake the feeling of being watched.
This is CJ's fault. He really believes all that stuff.
Once you start to see things, there's no going back.
I wonder what he meant by that. Forgotten Forest Trail. Voted most likely place to be eaten by bears. Arthurton Gazette. Perfect. Just as I'm about to enter the spooky woods.
The good folks at Arthurton Power and Light were not easing Jenny's fear of the dark. Of course, this was the very reason curfew had been put in place. It looked like Jenny had reached a dead end. She had no choice but to return to Susie's house for a comforting mug of hot chocolate.
I'd rather plummet to my death.
It was a terrifying drop to the rocks below. Surely she wasn't contemplating jumping across.
Mom always says a great detective takes calculated risks. So let's do the math. The bridge is too weak for a running jump. Taking into account the strong tailwind, and factoring in my athletic prowess, or lack thereof, I could make that jump 2 out of 3 times. Not bad odds.
Terrible odds.
Well, here goes nothing. Uh-oh. Okay, maybe the odds weren't so good.
And now she was dangling from a splintered plank, one slip away from certain death.
It's just like climbing a tree. Just don't look down. Don't look down.
Was this the end for our tiny hero? As her spindly muscles began to give way, an image flashed before Jenny's eyes. Her mother, dangling from a ledge, unable to pull herself to safety. How could she possibly save her family when she couldn't even save herself?
I can't give up now. Mom needs me.
Jenny had barely survived. Was she really prepared for the dangers that lay ahead?
It's too late to turn back now.
It might have been her recent brush with death, but Jenny's heart was pounding in her chest.
That's not my heart. That's CJ's compass. The needle is shaking like crazy. Is this what the compass was pointing to?
Jenny paused for a moment and listened. It was quiet but distinct, a constant pulse, mechanical, unnatural.
Man-made?
But other than the sound it emitted, this rock was like any other in the forest.
What's this? Another postcard piece. Curious. Something under there.
Jenny had spent her whole childhood exploring the woods behind her house.
But I've never seen this before.
Then she remembered CJ's words.
People don't see things they aren't looking for.
She knocked on the rusty metal.
Hollow. It's a trapdoor. rusted up pretty badly. I can't move it. What a strange device. The wires are connected to the door.
A stale, metallic odor filled the air as Jenny peered into the opening.
It sure is dark down there.
Too dark.
But I can't just leave this unexplored. I have to see where it leads.
And so Jenny descended blindly into the unknown.
Didn't sound good.
In all her short life, Jenny LeClue had never found herself in such a peculiar place. The town that once seemed a small, lifeless pond was suddenly an ocean of mysterious possibilities. Equal parts terrifying and intriguing, it was...
Incredible!
Yes, an incredible mystery in her very own backyard. Jenny wiped away a thick layer of dust.
Jeez, how long has this been here?
Clearly the equipment had laid dormant for a long time, and yet...
It's so futuristic. Straight out of those comics Keith is always reading.
Starship cadets and the race for space.
It feels...
Alien.
Now I'm starting to sound like CJ. There must be a logical explanation for all this.
But its purpose would remain a mystery. Jenny dared not touch its intricate interface.
I'll just press all the buttons and see what happens.
Oh dear. turned the dials, she heard something hidden in the static.
A voice? But what is he saying? It's a pattern. It keeps repeating. Animals and numbers. Animals and numbers. People in the future sure talk weird.
Was it a cry for help? A shopping list? Someone with extremely limited vocabulary?
Whatever it is, it must be important.
And so she transcribed it in her journal.
Looks fancy. And broken. There's something stuck to the bottom of the ladder.
It was just a blank piece of paper.
Or is it?
Jenny traced her finger over the page. She felt the clear indentations left by a pen.
I know exactly what to do. It worked. 1, 2, 3, 4.
It was a code of some kind.
The world's least secure code.
Please enter authorization code to begin.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Code accepted. System authorized and armed for activation. Sphere hermetically sealed. Magnetic transducer coils targeted. Rotation phase mechanics stabilized. Commencing experiment age 157.
What's happening?
Radioactive safety margins cleared. Running at 54% efficiency.
It says it's working. But what's it doing?
Remember, a healthy employee is an effective employee. Please leave the station for your mandatory 15-minute smoking break. Decompressing spherical chamber.
I should get out of here before my skin melts off.
The boulders must have weighed a ton each, yet they floated in the air like balloons.
CJ said he saw a swarm of UFOs circling the Forgotten Forest.
Was Jenny beginning to make sense of CJ's wild ramblings?
I'm gonna need a bucket of coffee to unpack all this. Oh, God. Our old fort.
It didn't look like much, but this treehouse had once been Jenny and Keith's favorite hiding spot.
I could never climb up there on my own. Keith always had to help me.
They schemed and planned and swore never to let anything come between them. Just thinking about him hurt. What was that? Steven! Steven! Steven!
What?
Did you hear that? I'm telling you, man.
Not this again.
Something's out here. Something big. Real big.
There's nothing there.
But I'm getting some super spooky vibes, man.
For the last time, Kevin, the radio's off for emergencies only.
That was lucky. I need to be more careful.
The house was swarming with police, but she knew this place like the back of her hand. If anyone could find a way in, it was Jenny LeClue.
It's tempting.
But Jenny couldn't risk being seen by the police.
There's probably a sneakier way in. This place is crawling with cops.
What could the police have found inside her house?
And if they found what they're looking for, why are they still here? My room.
And inside,
My detective gear.
the window looked a promising point of entry.
I could climb the tree up onto the roof.
But as Jenny knew, all the windows on the second floor were bolted down.
Dad did it after a raccoon got in and trashed the place.
Jenny recalled the Christmas Eve when she had climbed down the chimney and discovered how difficult the jolly old man's job was.
And dirty. There's definitely a cleaner way in. Dang, the front door's covered too.
Jenny could try to climb the tree,
But I already see an easier way in.
the window was ajar, the frame damaged.
Somebody broke into my house. That's my job.
But who? The police had used the front door.
Whoever it was, that's my way in.
Out of the police's line of sight, the basement was her best entry point into the house.
Except that window is locked, and all my lockpicking gear is inside.
To get to the basement window, Jenny would have to creep carefully past the police officer. One false move and the game would be up.
Hey! Who goes there?
Caught! Jenny would have to think fast or risk being jailed like her mother.
Here goes nothing.
Steven! Please tell me you're there.
What's up, buddy?
I think you should know, and I say this with 100% certainty, that there's a
Spit it out already.
mountain lion out here!
Very likely. They're indigenous to this area.
What?
Just don't let it eat you. I don't need any more paperwork.
Oh, God. I think I'll just head inside for a minute to check on something.
Phew, that was close. Someone definitely forced this open.
Would Jenny enter the dark basement? It was an odd feeling, breaking into her own house. But as she squeezed through the basement window, Jenny felt a rush of excitement. I could get used to this, she thought. Jenny was in, undetected.
Home sweet home. What the heck? Who left this here?
Jenny's father had never carried a briefcase, and her mother couldn't afford one.
Let's see who this belongs to. Who carries around a fancy briefcase with a children's book inside? The Hawk and the Weasel. Hang on a second.
Jenny recognized the book. She'd seen a copy of it next to the dean's lifeless body.
In the library. There must be something significant about it. Familiar. Like I've seen it before. Wait, no! I've heard it before! On the radio in the underground lab!
Could there be a connection between the cryptic radio message and this book?
Let's find out. message in code, which is being picked up on a radio in an abandoned laboratory hidden in the forest. And the secret to decode this message is written in a children's book, which was locked inside a stranger's briefcase in my basement.
All of this was true.
That doesn't make it any less crazy sounding.
But not all mysteries could be solved in an instant. Sometimes questions had to percolate, like a good cup of coffee. Only then would the answers become clear.
I guess I'll let it brew for a bit. But right now, I need to get to my room and find my detective gear. Oh crap!
Hey! What are you doing?
Nothing. Just looking for more beer.
Make yourselves at home, why don't you?
Forget about it. There's more in the back of the fridge.
They better not eat my cookies.
Jackpot! They got cookies too.
Hey, have we searched down here yet?
You lose one game of cards and suddenly you want to search the house. Can't handle the pressure, eh?
Oh, those, sir, are fighting words. You want to put your money where your mouth is?
Arthurton's finest, everyone.
There was no way Jenny could reach her bedroom without being caught by the police.
Which means I can't get my detective gear. Great.
But this was a basement, a veritable treasure trove of old possessions. Surely something around here would prove useful?
Maybe, but I can't see a thing. Let's shed some light on the situation. Of course the fuse is missing for the lights.
Jenny wasn't prone to sentimentality, but seeing her father's desk, the disorganized muddle of books, photos, and the faint smell of ammonia, all reminders that her dad was here not so long ago.
Miss you, Dad. This one test tube looks recently used. The others are all covered in dust.
A small puddle of liquid had pooled on the desk.
Looks fresh. Still sticky. This was years ago. I looked like a kid. One of the rare times that Dad wasn't making a goofy face. He used to say, serious people make serious mistakes. I might, need this later. Quantum tunneling and adaptive spectral optics. Sounds like a real page turner. Dad was such a nerd. Mending the molecular bonds of marriage. Mom and Dad both worked an awful lot.
Jenny rarely saw the two of them together.
Mom must have kept it. The dean called the lab explosion an accident, but everyone in town seemed to blame Dad. Acrid inspections report. I've never seen this before. This contradicts the newspaper article which stated my dad made a mistake. Everyone in town blamed him for the accident. But they were all wrong. The lab was unsafe. He shouldn't have been working there. October 5th. That was 1 week before.
Her father's accident.
The dean signed the report.
Someone had circled the signature in red pen.
He must have known that the lab was unsafe, but still let my dad work in there?
Any rational mind could see it. Strong evidence linking her mum to the dean's death.
This doesn't prove anything.
But it was a clear motive for murder. Revenge.
My mom wouldn't do that.
But who else would see it that way?
There must be an explanation. I just don't know what it is yet. I can't let this fall into the wrong hands.
Was Jenny sure this was the right thing to do? It broke every rule in the book. Why would she need to hide evidence if her mom was truly innocent?
Mom isn't here to defend herself. It isn't fair.
But however she tried to justify it, Jenny knew this wasn't the choice of a great detective.
I need to buy myself some time. I can't afford anyone jumping to conclusions before I've had a chance to investigate. The missing fuse. A field guide to fascinating flora. Written by Weiss, Felding, and Stroudsbury. Did the dean write this book?
Jenny would need to work quickly to remain undetected.
Who knows when they'll come back? Now, where's the most likely place to find a makeshift detective kit?
A shaft of light peeked through the boxes.
There's more stuff back there. I just need a way through.
Jenny's instincts had been correct. Dozens of boxes lined the back wall of the basement.
There's probably something useful here, but it'll take forever to search through them all. CSI supplies. That must be Mom's old gear. It's not as good as mine, but at least it works. More or less. My key to the city. An old set of lockpicks.
Tucked away at the bottom of the box, something colorful caught Jenny's eye. She pulled it carefully from the container and unfolded it.
This must be Mom's old jacket.
It smelled of formaldehyde and fingerprint powder.
From her CSI days.
And so, she tried it on.
Fits like a glove.
A giant oversized glove.
And it smells like Mom.
Her mother had never felt so close, and yet so far away.
I won't let them take you away from me, too.
Jenny's search was complete.
It's not the world's best detective kit, but it'll do.
For the first time in her life, she felt like a real detective. She had a serious crime to solve.
And a seriously sharp outfit to match. Somebody else